Are you looking to improve your curb appeal and increase your property value? Or maybe you're looking for home updates that add value or home selling tips that are going to get your house sold quickly. A recent study posted by the Wall Street Journal found that curb appeal improvements can not only improve your property value by up to 7%, but they can also help you sell your home quicker. We're going to take a look at low, medium, and high cost improvements in each of these 7 areas, and that's what I'm going to give you answers for today. I'm Christy Wampler with Nebraska Realty, and just as a quick tip, before we get started, down in the description you can find a link to several of the products that we have personally used and other things that I would definitely recommend for helping to make some of these improvements around your home. Okay, let's start with your garage door. Clean it, paint it, replace it. These changes can give you a potential return on investment of up to 95%. This is something that you probably use pretty much every day. So rule number 1, make sure you're taking care of it. That occasional tune-up, so it's not making all kinds of squeaky noises. We all know how much it can ruin your day, especially, God forbid, if it's snowing out and you pull into your driveway and the garage door doesn't open. Who wants to do that manually, especially in the middle of winter if you have a baby in the car? No, thank you. And let's not even talk about having to deal with the garage door when there are car seats and groceries involved. No. As long as you don't already have any chipping happening with the paint on the door, you can power wash it. You can even just wash it down kind of like you would do with your car. A little bit of soap and water. Might not really look dirty at first, but I can tell you that it will make a difference. You could even start with one square, make a clean spot, and then you'll realize how much of a difference it will make when you get to the rest of the door. That mid-level will be painting it. This will only cost you about as much as a gallon of paint. Obviously depends on the size of your door, but maybe 1.5 or 2 gallons if you have 2 doors side by side. And you'll want to make sure that you put a drop cloth underneath. And one of the things that you can do that I think a lot of people don't think of until after the fact is just open your door part of the way. This way you're able to stand up straight and paint the bottom panel of the door, because it folds up kind of in sections. Paint the bottom panel and then close the door a little bit more so it'll come down further, so then you can paint the next panel. This way you're not having to hunch over and try and deal with the paint that way. And you want to start at the bottom too. This way, if you do have any drips or anything like that happening, then as you're opening the door, if you're doing it backwards, then that paint has the potential to drip through onto your garage floor. So just another reason too, you want to make sure you have that drop cloth covering not just from the front of the door, but fully across the threshold. If any paint decides to splatter or drip somehow through the back, you want to make sure that you have something underneath protecting your floor. Replacing your garage door can cost anywhere from $600 to even up to $2,000. Just depends on how big of a door you're needing, what style you're looking for, what company you're going with, and things like that. Not only is it a quick project, but this repair or replacement will bring as much as 95% return for your home. It covers a very large portion of the front of your home, and so it also adds just a massive impact. Number 2, lighting and hardware. Clean it, add some accent lighting, and replace all your basic fixtures. This one's pretty simple. Most people can handle either level on their own. The first one obviously being cleaning it. Sometimes dirt and dust just kind of collects in there. You get bugs in the summer that kind of find their way in there to the light bulb. I'll never understand that, but whatever makes less bugs around me, that's fine. Adding some accent lighting, either flanking your driveway, or even like if you have a little path up to your front door, or little steps or something like that. I know sometimes people will add like the little fixtures that even go on the side of the stairs or along the front, and it really just makes kind of a nice ambiance when people are coming up to your home. If you're having any photos taken in the evening, that'll be part of listing your property. And lastly, with really not that much of a price tag, depending on how many fixtures you have, updating the actual fixture itself. So you want to make sure that you keep kind of consistent theme, look at the style of your house and find something that kind of fits with that. You don't want to pick something like ultra modern and stainless, and then you've got like a really kind of plantation feel or like farmhouse style exterior. So just kind of keeping that in mind too, and using similar finishes across. So, you know, brushed nickel or all like a matte black or something like that, and just keeping it consistent. This way you have that continuity throughout all of your fixtures. Repainting. This is one that we were able to do on one of the levels, and that can be as simple as just repainting some of the accent features on your home, or having the entire house repainted. And that's kind of your low end and then middle and high together. So we repainted our front door, our shutters, our window boxes, and just kind of added in some flower boxes in the front windows. And we painted our front door. But you can also think about painting your flower boxes, and then like porch railing, or even just like if you have a railing up your front steps or something like that. Those are kind of some accents that would stand out that could really make a difference just by even changing the paint color or freshening it up. Sometimes it just gets kind of dingy or chipped, kind of old looking, depending on the color too. Just a fresh coat of paint can sometimes go a long way. Having your siding repainted can have up to a 75% return on investment. Definitely something that I would recommend hiring out for, unless you are a professional painter. It's quite a process. Just not even the trim and preparing it and making sure that the surface is clean enough that it's ready for paint, finding the right type of paint and the right tools, that it's not going to take you like 5 weeks and worrying about rain and weather and all the things. So I definitely think this one is a bit too much of a headache to handle as a DIY. Again, unless you're a professional painter on your own. Okay, freshening up those garden beds or any kind of landscaping that you have along the front of your home. Tidy it up, mulch it, have some landscaping done. Tidying it up can be as simple as pulling weeds, trimming overgrown plants, and then cutting back things in winter. That can even make a difference. It just kind of makes things look a little less shabby looking in winter. I feel like when we actually take the time to trim the bushes in the fall and cut back some of those like tall grasses that we have along the edges of our home. At the mid-level, mulch, I think it's like, I almost equate it to putting a fresh coat of paint on the inside of your house. So just putting out fresh mulch and having a color that maybe kind of complements either the architectural features of your home or your paint color. I know at one point we had put out red mulch, so we have a red door, and this year we ended up switching to more of like that really dark brown and kind of like a black color. It just really makes the greenery and the plants pop, especially like now that we finally have flowers coming in. So that's a lot of fun, but definitely budget friendly. I can understand if you're wanting to do it for free, but this is like really low cost. You can usually find a good deal around maybe like 3 bags for $9 or $10. So that's definitely one to look into. You can put it around, kind of do a circle if you have any trees in your yard. Even if you don't have a border, sometimes, you know, it can look nice anyway to just make your own circle with the mulch just around a tree, and really adds a nice trim around the outside, kind of makes things stand out a little bit more. And then obviously for that high level, having landscaping done. So reaching out to a company in your area that's reputable. I know that there are a lot of different outlets that you can reach out, whether that's via social media, asking on Facebook for recommendations of local companies that do a good job. And sometimes people can even share examples of what they've done at their homes to give you an idea of what you're looking for or what you might like to have done in your own yard. And I'll add in a freebie here because it kind of goes without saying. Hopefully you're keeping that lawn mowed, do some edging, using a spreader for some weed preventer and just that kind of thing. So just having that grass be kind of green. I'm kind of one of those odd ones that if I can, I would love to have like the lines mowed kind of like diagonally would be fun, or even like the straight, kind of like, you know, when you're vacuuming the carpet and you get like the carpet lines, it's like oddly satisfying. But anyway, neither here nor there, just an oddity. Okay, that's been 4 out of 7 down. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button if you found any of this helpful, and also hit the subscribe and the bell to be the first to know when I release new helpful content, and it also just helps keep the channel growing. Okay, number 5, we're moving along, pops of color. And so this is usually done through flowers, or maybe you might have like a fun coordinating doormat that you put out in the front. But things like flowers in window boxes, or maybe even like a planter on your front step. You probably often see like a flower pot like on each step going along the sides of the stairs or something like that. By the way, in case you're wondering, your trash bins do not count as pops of color. When you're trying to decide what colors to use, obviously go with whatever makes you happy. If you're trying to appeal to the masses, then try and consider some either complementary colors, colors that might be opposite on the color wheel. So like if you have like a purple and yellow, kind of think like sports teams. You got blue and orange, purple and gold. If you want to go Husker themed, you could do red and white. Or go with, if you have any particular colors that kind of stand out either on your door or shutters or something like that, that would really kind of make those pop. If the outside of your home is fairly monochromatic, reds or yellows are usually a pretty safe bet. I guess that would depend on whether you are in Nebraska or Iowa. Number 6, softening your hardscapes. Like, what does that even mean? Okay, so that's basically, think of hardscapes as your cement, your woodwork, if you've got any like metallic trim on the front of your home or anything like that, that would be considered hardscapes. And so softening those up with maybe some, it doesn't necessarily have to be flowers, but some plants, maybe potted plants, or even, if you have space on your front step to put a couch or even a wreath on your door that has a bit of a softer look to it, can definitely soften things up. If you're not sure what types of plants to put in that are going to be low maintenance, maybe you're kind of like me trying to work your way out of a black thumb and into a green one, then you can go down to your local nursery and ask, what are some of the more native plants to your area that are going to just naturally thrive and survive, at least in your climate? So they'll know what plants are not really going to take a whole lot of work and not a whole lot of attention, except for that once in a blue moon when you decide to check and see if you have an Amazon package on your front step. But we're not talking about me, right? I think the only other thing you'd want to keep in mind there when picking out plants is letting the staff at your local nursery know what direction or what type of lighting you're getting on that side of the house. So is your house north facing? Is it south facing and gets a whole lot of sun? And that kind of thing. So they'll have a better idea, and it'll save you a lot of headache to not put things that don't like the sun, and then they get like too much sun and then just end up looking sad, and you're like, why did I even do that? Now I just wasted my money and it made it look worse. Okay, and last but not least, number 7, thanks for hanging with me, is clean your driveway. Repeat after me, the power washer is your friend. And a bonus here on this one too, if you have a power washer, fantastic, then it's free. Another option, low cost, free cost, free 99 maybe, would be to borrow one from a neighbor, or even you can rent them. So that would definitely be a lower cost. You could buy one and then use it all the time and power wash your windows because, there's another freebie. You don't really notice it because like all the windows start to look consistent, but when you finally do like go ahead and scrub them down, it does make quite a difference. So definitely look into that. Power wash your driveway, your front steps, your sidewalks. The power washer is your friend. If you watch this video in preparation for planning your next move, you're going to want to make sure you watch this video with 11 ultimate moving tips and tricks for your next move that you probably haven't heard yet. So check it out.